Hello? Is this thing on? Are we live? Hello? What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Welcome to Big Draft Energy Friendship Fridays. Good to see all of your beautiful faces in here, all you wonderful folks. So I'll tell you what we're doing and where we're doing it at, but we're not doing it yet because we're waiting for a fresh lobby to get all of our disco balls up in her. And this lobby for the $3 mini has been at 8 out of 12 forever. And yeah, we definitely are waiting for people to fill up this current drafters $3 mini before we go live. But we have a lot to talk about. There's been a lot of movement in terms of free agency and acquisitions and new ownership for the Washington Commanders, who may actually get another name change so they can wipe out the scent and the stench that Dan Snyder left in Washington. Who would have thunk that like somebody in corporate America up in Washington would be, like a complete prick, like crooked as they come? Who would have thunk it? But it's all good. Magic Johnson's a co-owner now. Magic Johnson, the guy who beat AIDS, not only did he beat AIDS, he crushed AIDS, is now an NFL owner. He went from being the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers and button heads with LeBron James to owning or being a part owner of an NFL team. Congratulations to Magic Johnson. So yeah, there's that. All right. I'm just gonna tell everybody, let's do the are you guys in the chat? Just messaging the Discord in the chat. 2 milli queue up. All right. We're going to queue up for the 2 milli because this $3 mini is never going to fill. Shooting a couple of more messages. And then we'll catch you guys up on everything. All right. Quasi, did you queue up for the 2 milli, buddy? Quasi says, yepers. Adrian Fitta says, yo, Adrian, you good to queue up for the 2 milli, buddy? This $3 mini is never going to fill. And yeah, screw it. Let's do the 2 milli. Let's fill the 2 milli with our boys. And let's get going. You're in the Quasi says he's in the $20 queue. Awesome. Amazing. Yeah, man. If you guys are just tuning in, welcome to Big Draft Energy. We are drafting exclusively on Drafters Fantasy Sports. We are entering the drafters. We're in the lobby right now for the drafters 2 million. First place gets $300,000. There's $2 million in total prizes. It is best ball format. So best ball, in my humble opinion, is the most convenient way. The most convenient way for you to draft. You have 20 rounds to fill your roster for depth. Each week, a starting lineup is composed of the following positions: 1 quarterback, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 1 flex. Sorry. Just this Discord is going bonkers. Okay, hold on. Drafters 20 entry 2 million. Trying to get our boy Big Kurt up in here. Would be great to see Big Kurt up in here. So yeah, Jesus Christ, what a shit show! What an absolute shit show. Comments. All right. So yeah, we're just waiting for this lobby to fill up. And then we're good to go. Right now, the drafters 2 million is at 8 out of 12. It is what it is. So yeah, we're drafting on Drafters Fantasy Sports. At the end of the week, the best overall performances on your roster will be submitted in your weekly matchup. So no more leaving points on the bench, no more waiver wires, no more trades. Sign up today using promo code DiscoDrafts1. Get up to $100 match with your initial deposit. All transactions are done in US dollars. Drafters is available in Ontario and all other legal sports betting provinces and states. So that's that. So we got a couple weird, unnecessary running back free agent signings, and we'll talk about what that means for the we'll talk about what that means for the NFL season. Sorry. Yeah. So we'll talk about what that means for the NFL. So Melvin Gordon, one of the guys who's like the reason why the NFL is kind of fading the running back position. He signed a 1-year deal up to $3.1 million with the Baltimore Ravens earlier today, which is super weird, super strange. Do I think he's going to have fantasy production? No, there's a very, very long shot that he'll have any sort of production. And it's up to $3.1 million with like a significant amount of incentives. So yeah, do I think Melvin Gordon's going to be a must draft? No, I think if I do get any exposure to him, it'll be either if like J.K. Dobbins cannot go, which in other news, J.K. Dobbins did enter the PUP list, so player unable to participate or unable to practice or unable to perform list. Today, they're simply just taking care of him and making sure that like he doesn't get any wear and tear on his knees before the season starts. It's more of a precautionary thing, but J.K. Dobbins should be good to go week 1. So I'm not very worried there. And then if, an unforeseen circumstance does happen and something does happen to J.K. Dobbins, then Gus Edwards would be the guy. And I believe that as a handcuff, Melvin Gordon would be decent. But as of now, since Melvin Gordon isn't, the handcuff, and there is still Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins ahead of him, then it's borderline pointless. Our draft just filled. We filled these drafts like no problem. All right, Scrappy Coco. I like that name. It's a shame that that person's not following this, because the reason why I'm called Disco is because one of my favorite movies of all time is You Don't Mess with the Zohan. You like Disco? So far in the Drafters 2 million, we got It's Amigo at the 101, yours truly at the 103, Angry Elf at the 104, Jonesy Wan Kenobi at the 107, Knifey Spoony at the 111, Quasi at the 112. Quasi's at my favorite spot to draft. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 big drafters. We got 6 disco balls up in here. So the other acquisition that happened today was James Robinson, and he went to New York, which I believe has a little bit more implication. Initially, when I heard the news, I'm like, well, it's a wrap for Saquon. I don't think Saquon's going to be signing. They're bringing in a contingency plan, and since they're bringing in a contingency plan, means that like there's borderline zero hope for Saquon to sign a contract. But as I started thinking about it, I don't think James Robinson is necessarily a contingency plan and the overall replacement to Saquon Barkley. I think James Robinson can still get cut if Saquon does, end up coming and playing. But I also think that he gives him a different dimension, and he would inevitably replace Breida because Breida's on his like last leg, so to speak. But if Saquon doesn't play, then he would be a very great late round pick. Unfortunately, I already have a lot of exposure to James Robinson when he was on the New England Patriots, and I was drafting in late April, early May, and then he got cut, so I started getting a lot of Pierre Strong. Yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird. And then Cole Beasley. Thank you, Jonesy Wakanobi. Jonesy Wakanobi says, don't forget about Cole Beasley. Went to the land of slot receivers in New York. Yeah. Oh, we're on the clock. Okay, we'll take Cooper Kupp. The more I think about it, the more I want Cooper Kupp. It would have been nice to have gotten Jamar Chase. Then I would have went with like the thumbnail correlation stack. But it is what it is. But yeah, Cole Beasley going to New York is the most insignificant thing because there's now 14 useless slot receivers there, and I have no idea who I'm going to draft. And I promise you, I'll never draft Cole Beasley, not even once. Yes, he has history with Brian Dable, but like, I'm just not going there. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So that's that. But what I was saying is, I have a lot of exposure to James Robinson, and it's exposure that like I kind of don't want anymore. So I'm not going to reach on James Robinson, but James Robinson could potentially be like a very sneaky last overall pick moving forward now, especially since like his ADP is completely different. Eric Gray is now looking like a surefire thing. So I'm expecting him to start jumping in these drafts significantly. Zamir White is looking like a surer thing, and I'm expecting him to start jumping significantly in terms of ADP as well. So that's that. That's us catching up with all the free agency nonsense that happened earlier today. Nothing super exciting or like crazy, but there are some implications and there's a trickle down effect. And then I also created a lot of drama in a Facebook group. Like a lot of drama. I went ahead and said, hot take, Jamar Chase is going to be the best wide receiver. He's going to be the wide receiver one in all platforms and all fantasy football formats. And people are like, that's not a hot take, dude. I'm like, what do you mean it's not a hot take? They're like, dude, it's not a hot take. He's like top 2 or 3 projected wide receiver. If you were going to say somebody like, DK Metcalf would be number 1 overall receiver, that would be a hot take. And I'm like, there's a difference between a hot take and a delusional take, right? A hot take is saying somebody who's not the consensus number 1 is going to be the consensus number 1 at the end of the season. And anyways, Facebook went crazy, went bonkers, and I love it. I love being a troll, and people are like, you clearly don't know what the hell you're talking about. You might be right, but God damn it, I'm handsome. And I look good with a nice glass of red wine in my hands. Pinkies up, motherfuckers. Tastes like victory. T. Higgins, let's go. We got somebody on the thumbnail. Quasi said it's just a depth move. The serious unsigned RBs want guaranteed contracts, and that's not what Gordon got. Exactly. And like what I've been telling people for the longest time is like the running back position as is under attack. And everybody's like, oh, well, like James Cook and Leonard Fournette and Zeke, they should all go to like either New York or to Vegas now that there's a vacancy. The issue with that is they are running backs who fall under the category of running backs who are not going to get paid, hence why they were let go. So they would not be detrimental to the cause. Sorry, we're on the clock. They would not be detrimental to the cause of raising the running back market as is. Do I want Ramondre? No, I want Josh Allen. I know it's a weird flex, but I'll take Josh Allen. But yeah, so like if they would be detrimental to the cause, then they would be paid less significantly in the future. And they're already victims of the current circumstance in the running back market. So they wouldn't go to the 2 teams that are also victimizing other fellow running backs. So I don't like, I would put my house on it. I would put like everything that I own, all of my XRP, all that shit. I would put that on the fact that neither James Cook or not James Cook, Dalvin Cook and Leonard Fournette are not going to sign to either New York or Vegas. Like mark it down, stamp it, put it down, do what you got to do. Guaranteed. Adrian Finnis says, what's the guaranteed money? No idea. I just know that it's up to $3.1 million with incentives. I don't think it was released. And if it was released, I don't think I gave a fuck enough to read it, to be completely honest. Adrian Finnis says, I'm loving the back 4 spots in redraft lately and best ball. You've been doing redraft leagues? You've been doing redraft drafts? Or have they just been mocks? Jonesy Wakanomi says, don't forget about Cole. We already read that one. It's Amigo. What's up, baby boy? He says, I have a ton of Eric Gray and didn't love that news of them getting Robinson. It's not going to affect Eric Gray whatsoever. I assure you. He's just going to come in to spell Eric Gray if Saquon sits. If Saquon signs, James Robinson or Breida are going to get cut. Saquon's going to carry the load. He may get injured because, he's not in training camp, and getting that anatomical adaptation with his teammates is what it is. Jonesy Wakanobi says, what's the Facebook group? Room for me? Absolutely. I don't know the name off the top of my head, but when I remember it, I'll let you know. Or when the stream's done, I'll invite you to it. Agent Fitta says, Jonesy likes to live dangerously, I see. Well, there's living dangerously, and then there's also just being like my tag team partner, just like my guy. And if anybody's got a problem with me, whether it be like a different Discord group or like on Twitter or anything like that, and vice versa, like it goes the same for Jonesy. If anybody's got a problem with Jonesy, but going back to the main point, if anybody has a problem with me on the socials, Jonesy comes off the top rope with some memes, some elbow drops. I'll tag him in anytime. He knows that I got his back, but I know for a fact that he's got my back. So when Jonesy's asking what the Facebook group is, I know exactly what he's trying to do. And I appreciate you going to that protective instinct place. It means a lot. I feel loved. Jonesy can always it. Yes, you want Lamar. I don't want Lamar. Not today. Not today. I have not a lot of exposure to Lamar Jackson. I'll be completely honest. And I'm very high on him this year. I really am. I'm really, really high on Lamar Jackson. I just don't have a lot of exposure to him. Why do I not have a lot of exposure to him? Because in the petty bank, he burnt me last year and he got hurt. And it's not to any fault of his. I'm a big fan of Lamar and the fantasy football, aspects of him being able to break fantasy football. If I'm correct, he had the best fantasy football in the history of history not too long ago, right? So it's always cool when you have somebody like that available. And it's always cool to get some exposure to a guy like that. But DJ Moore's officially not my most drafted wide receiver. Officially. It's not even close. I don't think there's at this range, it's got to be DJ Moore. DJ Moore is my most owned wide receiver. We got 7 people up in the chat. How's everybody doing today? What's everybody saying? How's everybody doing? What's everybody drinking? I want to know what everybody's drinking right now. Oh, Jonesy Wakanobi was saying, I was saying you want Lamar so I could get Diggs Allen stack. Sorry, bro. Sorry. Honestly, Josh Allen was just I have not, if you look back at any of these videos, I have not gone with an early quarterback in a really, really long time. I think the earliest I'd go is maybe Lawrence or maybe Fields, but I have not gone with a top tier quarterback in a really long time. I want to say almost 2 weeks where I just said I don't want a top tier quarterback. So Josh Allen, we got him. Decent value, no correlation, but I like the fantasy football implications he has. And if Joe Burrow falls to me, I might just grab Joe Burrow here and just say, this is going to be interesting. Yeah. Oh. Now, do I want to do that? Do I want to be that guy? Okay. We'll take Deontay Johnson. I really wanted Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow and I think Joe Burrow and Josh Allen would be very unique, but the running back value is crashing significantly. And I feel with the first 4 wide receivers we have, we can really start attacking running back and tight end moving forward in the next upcoming rounds. So, I think our draft's off to a good start. We're definitely going 0 RB. Quasi's having a Negroni. Oh, Quasi, I have this just to show you. When you speak, man, I listen. So I haven't tried it yet. It's literally been sitting in the fridge. I haven't tried it yet, so we're going to try it now. If you guys don't know what this is vitamin water. It's the The hell? It's the Acai Blueberry Pomegranate. Acai. And zero sugar. This is Quasi, aka the 2 times favorite drink. Yeah, that's my favorite vitamin water. Officially my favorite vitamin water. Quasi said that's the sugar-free one. I like the other one. Well, I have the other one too, but I figured I'd grab the sugar-free one because having some rouge. Adrian Fitta says, I may start digging deep into craft beer section now for these. I'm drinking chapter 1 in hops. We trust New England Pale Ale. I'm telling you, man, like wherever you get your beers from, it's got to be like from the Alps of Caucasia, like way up there. Like, what the hell did you just say to me? In hops, we trust New England Pale Ale. So, like, if you had to relate it to like a commercial beer, what would it taste like? Fuck it. We got a Stella. Cheers, you beautiful people. And we're back. All right, let's check out our big disco ball nation drafts. I want to see what Quasi's doing. Quasi goes CD Lamb. I need to get more exposure to CD Lamb. Nick Chubb, Ramondre Stevenson, Lamar Jackson, J.K. Dobbins, Mike Evans. Wow. So he went one wide receiver to start, then got 2 running backs, Lamar, another running back. So look for him to get a little bit more correlation with the Baltimore Ravens, and we're on the clock. All right, Dameon Pierce. If Jonesy's not grabbing Dameon Pierce's got, wow, Jonesy goes with a nice 2 power quarterback start. Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, look for Quasi to start getting a little bit more correlation with the Baltimore Ravens. Clearly, he didn't get the Mark Andrews stack, but there's still quite a few wide receivers coming up in the next couple of rounds that he could start snagging and getting some correlation with. And then Gus Edwards later on, and potentially Isaiah Likely. Knifey goes AJ. I feel like Knifey gets AJ Brown in every one of these drafts. AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Najee Harris, Tyler Lockett, Cam Akers. Yeah, you're right, Knifey. You literally save your best work for these drafters $2 million. So that's a strong start. We're back on the clock. We'll go with Rachaad White. I know I didn't need to get another running back there. Like George Pickens was screaming at me. I really wanted George Pickens. But I think it's too early to get a double stack at wide receiver right now. I'll probably wait later on, get like an Allen Robinson. Angry Elf goes with Treylon Burks. It's so good to see you in here, Angry Elf. How's your day going, Boilerman? Quasi said nothing close to commercial beer. You're talking about Adrian Fittis's In Hops We Trust New England Pale Ale. How would you know? You've tried it? Jonesy Wankonobi said couldn't decide Fields or Lawrence. Decided Fields. Now I have both. It's a good problem to have, I think. Jonesy also said it's the first time he's ever taken QBs this early. I've done it before. I've done it with Joe Burrow and Trey Lance. Not Trey Lance. Joe Burrow and Justin Fields. I don't know why I always call him Trey Lance. It's not the same guy. Jonesy said he's also at 24% Pierce. Got to back off for a while. Fair enough. Quasi said, I wouldn't draft Gus the bus if I have Dobbins. You don't want to get your double stack there? Get a little bit of handcuff correlation. Maybe raise your floor. Hey, you're the 2-time. You know what you're doing. Arthur Howell says, good. Good to see you in here, Art. My man, Angry Elf. All right, let's look at Jonesy's draft. Jonesy goes Stephon Diggs, Jonathan Taylor, Christian Kirk, Watson, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, James Conner. I like the James Conner pick a lot too. It's a very unique start, honestly. You obviously don't need another quarterback. Angry Elf goes CMC, Derrick Henry, Debo, Chris Godwin, Aaron Jones, Miles Sanders. That's where all the running backs went. You got them, Angry Elf. Treylon Burks. It's Amigo goes Justin Jefferson, Jalen Hurts, DK Metcalf, Joe Mixon. Then he goes with a bully tight end approach, getting TJ Hawkinson and Dallas Goedert. Very interesting. Very interesting. And then DeAndre Swift. Scrappy Coco is just saying like zero RB is my thing. That's what I'm doing. And he's literally taking all the wide receivers that could potentially exist. So yeah, right now we got Cooper Kupp, T. Higgins, Josh Allen, DJ Moore, Deontay Johnson, Damian Pierce, Rashad White. We may be looking at a tight end here, but I believe Darren Waller was the last guy in that tier break. And yeah. And based off of our quarterback situation, we can wait a little bit to get some correlation with either Dawson Knox or with Dalton Kincaid. All right. I'll take Javonte Williams here. Initially, I wanted to take Zay Flowers, but having enough exposure to Zay Flowers, not enough exposure to Javonte, and a healthy Javonte is a game wrecker. So I like the prospect of him there. I do indeed. Quasi says, I know pale ale. They range from grapefruit to pine tree notes. Quasi, what's your like? And I know it's such a weird question, but like I'm very curious. What the hell is your ethnicity? Where the hell are you from? Because like there are vibes that I get like this guy could potentially be like Caucasian, like after a statement like that. And then there's certain things you say like that make me feel like, oh, this guy could be like, you know, mulatto or like African American or grew up with African Americans. I'm very curious. Like I have no idea what you are. I know you're a robot, but like I just don't know. Like I can't I don't know. I can't picture it. Send me a selfie. Is that weird that I just asked you for a selfie? What do you look like, bro? It's bugging me. Yeah. Do I want to reach for Evan Ingram? Not really. Do I want to say I want to get another? Yeah, I'm going to take Dak Prescott here and just say screw it. Like we're good at quarterback now. We got two elite quarterbacks. We're good. It's Amigo says interesting start for me. Quasi says he doesn't double stack RBs or handcuff his RBs. Fair enough. Quasi's Scottish English background. Okay, now how many of you in the Disco Ball Nation thought that he was had a Scottish English background? Seriously, like I generally want to know how many of you thought that he had like a, because that's not what I thought. And then I want to know what you guys think my ethnicity is. Where the hell am I from? Jonesy Wakanobi says selfie Fridays. Bet. You guys are lucky that like I'm old now and don't take like photos of me taking a shit anymore and like posting it. You guys are lucky I'm old and like, because like that Discord, had this been 10 years ago, would be like just pictures of me taking a shit like all the time. Those were the days. Those group chats were awesome. I think I've had too much to drink already. Just telling my life story. Okay, so Scrappy Coco still has not gone with a single running back or tight end. Guys like this, either, so he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wide receivers in 9 rounds. I'm very curious to see what kind of running back value he gets. And just so he doesn't get like any great running back value, I'm going to deliberately like take some running backs here because I'm very happy with the 4 wide receivers we started with. But it's just such a weird start. Are you guys paying attention to the Scrappy Coco fella? I don't get it. I heard of zero RB, but like This is just 0 cents. So he's got Chris Olave and Michael Thomas correlation with a nice double stack. But other than that, it's just like a bunch of wide receivers. Like, I understand your RB, but at some point you need an RB. Quasi said you sniped my QB. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get different here, man. Jones Juwan Kenobi says, I think you have some Middle Eastern background. You're absolutely correct. Jones Juwan Kenobi said, I'm German, Yugoslavian. I didn't think you were. I thought you were some sports. I thought you could have been Spanish. I thought you had some sort of Spanish background, either like South America, like Mexico, maybe Spain, but German, Yugoslavian, Slava. Adrian Fair says he's did that yesterday too. We drafted with Scrappy Coco yesterday? When? When the hell did we draft with Scrappy Coco? All right, slider view. Yeah, we're simply just taking Brian Robinson so this guy can't get the best running back available. Let's see what he does. Over under, another wide receiver. I'm going to say he's going to go another wide receiver for sure. I'm taking the over. Because this guy's just an idiot. Is he auto-picking wide receivers? Is that what's happening? I'm very curious. Adrian Fittis thought Quasi was Brit German. Lee McKinnon says, looking forward to next week when things settle down and I can get back to daily drafts. Okay, now that you're here, Liam, and you hear me, I need you and Knifey with me on Friendship Fridays next week on stream. Can we make that happen, please? I've been asking that since we started this, and it hasn't happened, and I'm heartbroken. And I just want some friendship. We're going to take Odell Beckham Jr. because we know that Quasi would have liked him. So Scrappy Coco goes Khalil Herbert and Jerick McKinnon. Khalil Herbert, I have high hopes for and high expectations for the first 8-9 weeks. Then I think Roschon Johnson's going to take over. Jerick McKinnon, on the other hand, he's dead to me. I think he's absolutely horrible. Quasi side, my mother's side is English German. The Germans are coming. Liam McKinnon says, next Friday I'm there. Adrian, you hear that? Liam says he's there with us next Friday. Are you going to be there? Adrian Fitter says, no, I'm Brit, German. Oh, the Germans are coming. Liam McKinnon says, I'll make sure to stock up on Wobbly Pops. Speak English. Speak adult. Speak like an adult. Are you out for the birthday? Did you guys go for the birthday dinner? Where'd you guys go? Let me know. I want to know. We were supposed to do the $3 mini today, but that lobby literally took forever to open up. Like, we were waiting in the Discord with all the disco balls for a good 25 minutes, and it was like 8 out of 12, 7 out of 12, 8 out of 12, 7 out of 12. Then we said, screw it, we're going live. Queue up in the $22, the Drafters 2 milli. Half of us queued up in the Drafters 2 milli. The other half went to the $3 mini. So I'm very curious to see how the $3 mini is going. I do miss them. Doesn't feel like there's too much friendship on this Friendship Friday, but I'm very grateful for the current friendship that we're having on this Friendship Friday. Now, if you guys didn't know, now you know. This is not a mock draft. This is a real money draft. This is a $20 buy-in. First place gets $300,000 in this tournament. There's $2 million in total winnings. The other tournament is called the Drafters $3 Mini. First place gets $30,000. There's $200,000 in total winnings. In my humble opinion, best ball is the best and most convenient way for your draft. You have 20 rounds to fill your roster for depth. Each week, a starting lineup is composed of the following positions: 1 quarterback, 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 tight end, and 1 flex. At the end of the week, the best overall performances on your weekly roster will be submitted to your weekly matchup. So no more leaving points on the bench, no more waiver wires, no more trades, none of that garbage. You literally just draft it and forget it unless it's winning you money. So if you sign up today using promo code DiscoDrafts1, you get up to $100 match with your initial deposit. Friendly reminder, all transactions are done in US dollar. So yeah. Liam Lee McKinnon says, I got a big boy paycheck this week, so I'm good for the 20s. Nice. Nice. Very nice. Nice. Lee McKinnon says, I still need to max out those $3. Absolutely. Absolutely. Adrian Fitz says, I may have a wedding rehearsal dinner. Fuck it. Just tell them to go fuck themselves. Seriously. No I'm kidding. It's fine. It's fine. It'll happen. We need to make it happen because like as much as like I've been the face of, big draft energy, what I need you guys to know is like there are other components and other people who are big draft energy. Like it's not just me. I need you guys to know that. Like this entire thing started with Big Al Mac and Knifey Spoony, and it's always going to have Big Al Mac and Knifey Spoony. Those are my guys. They've been A1 since day one. And I know you guys have gotten to know me, but I can't wait for you guys to get to know, Knifey and Liam. They just have like more. They have jobs where they don't necessarily have as much freedom with their schedule as I do. So I get to do all this stuff and talk fantasy football. But like I'm telling you, these guys, they're the best. They're the absolute best. Not just in terms of like being great, loyal, phenomenal friends, but these guys are also like really knowledgeable in their field. Like Liam, he's a whiz when it comes to like breaking down and like analytics and deciphering information, and he's building our draft tools. So the Spike Week tools that you guys saw this time next year, we're going to have some, but it's going to have some unique twists that cater to us and to our followers. So it's very cool. It's very unique. I love having these guys part of the team. They're the best. And then my wife. My wife is another person part of the team because she didn't let me do this. We'd have problems. But not only does she let me do this, she does it with me. And it's like the best thing ever. Like if you're a wife watching this and your spouse loves fantasy football, do yourself a favor and do your relationship a favor and fucking learn about fantasy football because it will make your relationship that much better. So it will make Sundays, like game day Sundays during the season, like every Sunday in our house is like a holiday. I'm telling you, we have like a full on like top roast, all the fixings every Sunday. We have 2 or 3 TVs up. I'm yelling at like my sports book and I'm yelling at fantasy football. It's great. It's the best. It's just like the holidays. I'm telling you. Sundays are the best. So if your spouse, whether it be your husband, your boyfriend, or like your significant other, your roommate, your best friend, if they love fantasy football and you want to enjoy more quality time with them, you get into fantasy football and you get into football. And if you don't know how to get into football and you don't know how to get into fantasy football, guess what? We got a video coming out this week. It's called Fantasy Football for Dummies. It's actually called Will You Teach Me to Football? But yeah, we're going to put that out. I know it's not like for like the fantasy football heads like us, but it's just to get people into like if you're a kid or you have a kid who wants to learn how to play football, this video is going to be for you. If you have a significant other or a friend or like everybody in your work is in fantasy football and you're like feel like you're missing out, this is for you. It's going to be a short, like 10-minute video. It's going to explain to you the absolute basics in a very unique way because I'm a coach as well. It's going to explain to you football at its absolute basics. And by the end of this 8 to 10 minutes, you're going to understand football. And then we'll transition into fantasy football after that. Liam says, I'm also working on the fun draft tools in the background next week when I have time off. You're always working on them. When are you not working on them? Liam McKinnon also said more disco ball incentives. Same here for Sundays. What do you guys do on your Sundays? I'm very curious. I want to know what like traditions people have on their Sundays. What kind of Sunday tradition do you have on game day? I'll take Chuba. This is a very good draft that we're having here. Like, very good. I like this draft a lot. And I generally don't feel like I need another tight end. Do I double stack and get Dawson Knox? That would be weird. That would be interesting. That would be unique. I don't think anything I do for the rest of the year is going to be as unique as the second draft I had last night on the stream. That draft was exquisite. We had some great, unique twists and aspects to it. Yeah, Arthur, I really want to know what you guys do on your Sundays, your game days Sundays. Also want to know what the hell are you drinking, bud? I'm just taking a look at It's Amigos draft. So far, Justin Jefferson, Hurts, Metcalf, Mixon, bully tight end approach with TJ Hawkinson and Dallas Goedert, DeAndre Swift, Antonio Gibson, Kirk Cousins, Nico Collins, Rondell Moore, Van Jefferson, DJ Chark, Kenneth Gainwell, and then Rashid Shaheed. Very interesting draft, buddy. And I like it. Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and reach on Tim Patrick because I don't really like the value that's available at any other position right now. In terms of Marvin Mims and Tim Patrick, if I had to choose between both of them, I like Tim Patrick because I know what Tim Patrick can do when healthy. And, had he not gotten injured in the preseason last year or in training camp, maybe the Denver Broncos would have not been the laughingstock of the league. Yes, Russell Wilson's a weirdo, but he's also a tremendous quarterback. I'm very excited for the Russell Wilson redemption tour. Like, I'm very secretly like a Russell Wilson fan. And I'll tell you why I'm a Russell Wilson fan. Here's the real reason why I'm a Russell Wilson fan. Because he decided, instead of handing the ball off to Marshawn Lynch in the Super Bowl, that he would hand the ball off and throw a pick to Malcolm Butler and give my Patriots a Super Bowl when all hope was lost. I'm a big Russell Wilson fan after that. Love the guy. Love me some Russell Wilson. I'm a Russell Wilson truther, through and through. I'm a big Pats fan. I love my Pats. Adrian Fitta says, my buddies from one of my first job and I get together a lot. They all used to live together in a frat house, but now it's just someone's random house. We do an annual Friendsgiving. Nice. But is that every Sunday or is it just Thanksgiving? Jonesy Wankonobi says, I almost did that earlier. Kelsey, Knox, Kincaid. That would have been cool. Like earlier today. But couldn't do 3 tight ends with Kelsey. Wasted pick, so pivoted to Fant. I think it was. Okay. I don't have much exposure to Fant. Imagine if this is the year Albert O pops off. If Albert O, Isaiah Spiller, Sky Moore, they all have a good year this year, I'm going to have wasted a lot of money doing all of these drafts. Like a lot of money. Liam McKinnon says, this guy's a thinker. Well, this guy's a drinker. Cheers. Jonesy, what are you drinking, bud? Adrian Fitta says, outside of Deontay, I stacked the entire Pittsburgh offense. Weird strategy. I wouldn't call it a weird strategy. I really like the Pittsburgh team in general this year. I think they're going to compete. I think that entire division is up for grabs. I think the Cincinnati Bengals, don't walk away with it. It's going to be very competitive, but I think the Cincinnati Bengals come out on top. And then, any of the other 3 teams, the Browns, the Steelers, and the Ravens, they could all easily finish second. I think what makes the Steelers stand out is their defense is exceptional. Yes, the Ravens' defense is decent, but the Steelers' defense is still one of the best, if not the best. All right, so we waited. We got Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid stacked with Josh Allen. So no matter what happens, if one of these tight ends ends up having a good game, we're going to have a good game. So I really think that's unique correlation. It's also like a waste of a double stack, but I also don't think there's a lot of people with that double stack. Is there not a lot of people that double stack because it could very well be stupid? Maybe. It's a very big possibility, but shit happens. Yeah, I'm very high on Pittsburgh offense. I'm just high on that Pittsburgh team in general. Adrian Ferris says almost all Sundays. That's dope, man. Jonesy Wakanobi says Albert O, the hype last year. Oh my God. Zero sugar, sun-kissed orange. What, you just don't like drinking? It's okay if you don't. Like, I'm not judging. I just won't ask you what kind of bevy you're having to make things a keyword. All right, let's look at running backs here. Yeah, I mean, I'll reach on Zamir White because there's just not much value here. Like, Knifey said the other week this was a dead zone in general. I said, no, there's not a lot of value. I said, no, there's a lot of value usually at this range, but like Pierre Strong may get pipped any given moment now. Chase Brown, like it's looking worse for him now that Joe Mixon looks like he's actually going to play. Richie James, sure, he could have a couple spike weeks, but like there's just no real great value right here. Desmond Ridder would be phenomenal, but I'm great at quarterback. Nicole Hardman, sure, he could have 2 good weeks, but I don't want to draft for 2 good weeks. So, yeah, I think I just got to finish off the draft now with just straight up wide receiver. Go for, like, spike week freaks and call it a day. Wandell. Knifey, I blame you. I always queue up Tank Dell now, and I have no reason, no idea why. Because like he's not on my radar. I hate the prospect. I don't think he's good. I'm not high on him the way you are. Sterling Shepard, Nelson Aguilar. You guys think Julio Jones signed somewhere this year, or is he dead? Generally want to know. Do you guys think Jarvis Landry signed somewhere this year, or is he also dead? What about Kenny Golladay? Does Kenny Golladay sign somewhere this year, or is he dead? I don't know, man. I have no idea. Arthur Howell, snipe victim again. Who sniped you? Who did that to you? Who did you dirty? Let me know. I'll get him for you. I promise. Adrian Fitter says, I think this is just the last few rounds. You're married to ADP. Once you hit 18-20, you can just go draft Gronk, and it doesn't matter. 15 to 17 is meh. But, like, it does matter because, like, last year, you know, around this time, Isaiah Pacheco was one of those meh guys, right? And he ended up being like a league winner for a lot of leagues. Jerick McKinnon was a meh guy. Taysom Hill was a meh guy. You know, there's a lot of meh guys that can like really make or break your team. So this is where you got to pay the most attention. I feel like the first 10 rounds is so easy. These rounds, this is where you get the unique correlation because everybody's going to go based off of ADP and who's like best available. And like, I just want to get like a unique potential spike week prospect who just goes bonkers. Jonesy Wakanobi says, I don't drink these days unless I'm at a wedding or something. I've never been at home drinker. Man. So I like COVID. I did like some of my best drinking, some really good drinking during COVID. Some awesome drinking during COVID. Are we still in COVID? Like, is COVID over? Seriously, I don't think anybody's asked this. Is COVID over? Like, are we free? Like, is that nightmare done? God, that was bad. Adrian Fed says, it's so funny you mentioned those names. You should go see my Google history from yesterday. I was researching a landing spot for Julio and Co. That's funny. Great minds. Great minds. I'll take Marvin Jones here. Do you guys think Justin Ross is going to be a player? You guys think he's going to be a good player? Or is there just a lot of hype? Because, like, it's either going to be Justin Ross or Deneric Prince. It can't be both. And we know that Isaiah Pacheco is going to be healthy. So it's looking like it's got to be Justin Ross, right? Because I still don't trust Rashee Rice that much. I don't trust Sky Moore. Kadarius Toney, I feel like he's going to fuck it up somehow. I feel like Richie James could be good. Like, I do like the prospect of Richie James, especially in like this offense, him and Toney, and then Rashee Rice as well. And like just letting Kelsey roam free, it's going to make sense. But they also have a worse O line this year, and the running back position's kind of battered up already. Just because Trent Sherfield plays for Buffalo, and I already got a couple of Buffalo Bills players with Josh Allen, so I figured I'd keep some correlation going there. Do I have any bye week conflicts? Well, obviously Kincaid and Knox, Josh Allen, week 13. Okay. Running backs, we're in the clear. I don't think there's there's zero bye week conflict whatsoever in my running backs. Nope, never mind. Pearson Chuba. Wide receiver, we're chilling. We're doing great there. Yeah, week 13 is probably going to be like my most difficult week. But other than that, like, we're also not hurting on week 13. I like this draft. I like this draft a lot. I don't think it's either. Honestly, James is the guy behind Moore and Toney. Yeah. But I also feel like it's like a type of wide receiver in Kansas City. So I wouldn't say that like it's Toney, it's James, it's Moore. I feel like Rashee Rice and co. And then they like get those guys in and out based off of formations and what they're trying to accomplish. And then I feel like it's Toney and co. So yeah, I don't know. Justin Ross seems to me more like your traditional deep ball wide receiver with great route running concepts, where like Kadarius Toney is just like a freak athlete after the run. Oh, B. Kurt just sent me an upload. I believe it's his draft. He sent me his draft. Wait, did he just go one? Did he just go one quarterback? Why the hell would he just go one quarterback? Okay, I gotta message him to get into the freaking chat. Get in the chat now. Why the hell would he go with one quarterback? He just did one of these best ball drafts and he went with one quarterback. How does that work? Like, it's best overall performances. I don't understand the logic. Adrian Fedez says this is the weirdest draft I've done yet, and I don't hate it. I'll give that a look in a sec. Jonesy Wakaromi said an MVS and Rice there. Yeah, Ross could have 1 week he goes off, but I still see all the above in pecking order. Yeah, so there's like no number one target there other than Travis Kelce. So I agree with that sentiment. Because like that's what I struggle like. Because as much as I love the prospect of Kadarius Toney in a full off season with, we'll take Sterling Shepard. I love the aspect and prospect of like Kadarius Toney and Patrick Mahomes connecting, but like it's any week there, it's any receiver's game, and then Travis Kelce, right? Like Jerick McKinnon was like one of their best receivers towards the end of the season there, so like it really could be anybody. Jonesy Wakanombi says, is he doing weekly winner on UD? No, this is a drafter's $3 mini. He was supposed to draft with us, but we went from the $3 mini to the 2 milli. That's a big thing there, only doing one quarterback. Yeah, in the weekly, that would make sense. Like, remember how I told you like I was working on a strategy for your weekly? Like, it's done. But my only concern is my evaluation of defenses may be too predicated based off of what happened last year and the rankings last year, not necessarily predicated on the offseason additions here. Because like I got Houston still as the worst rush defense, and I looked at all of their offseason moves, and like it looks like they're going to be at least a middle of the pack rush defense, so they're not going to get ran all over. So they're not going to be that dream team that you just like, okay, well, like Jahmyr Gibbs plays Houston this week, so in DFS, I'm just going to put Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, and then like just fill everywhere else, right? Because that's what they were last year, them and the Cleveland Browns. I expect the Cleveland Browns to be one of the worst rush teams. So just get a running back in that division that's Nick Chubb or anybody on the other teams. You should be fine 2 weeks of the season. Cleveland's rush defense only got worse this year. All right, our draft. We went Josh Allen, Dak Prescott. We only went with 5 running backs. Crazy. I feel like I have 6 running backs. Why does it tell me I have 5 running backs? I have 6. We went Dameon Pierce, Rashad White, Javonte Williams, Brian Robinson, Chuba, Zamir. Yeah, I have 6. Why does it tell me 5? I didn't get 3 quarterbacks. That's so stupid. Did you guys ever get that glitch? Cooper Kupp, T. Higgins, DJ Moore, Deontay Johnson, Odell Beckham Jr., Tim Patrick, Marvin Jones, Trent Sherfield, Sterling Shepard, Dalton Schultz, Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox. That's interesting. I may have shot myself in the foot with getting my one double stack at the getting my one double stack at the tight end position, but it's also unique correlation, and that's what we're trying to do. This is our 11th drafters 2 milli. And I'm just seeing what the $3 mini is at. All right, so I'm queued up in the $3 mini. No, we are not doing this on stream. I would love to do this with you guys off stream. So if you guys want to hop into drafters 3 milli, $3 mini, I'm in there, but I'm gonna do it off stream. That's it for the stream. Quasi says last year the winner in the drafters milli contest had Hurts and Wilson, which was essentially a 1 QB build, and even took a 0 in QB when Hurt was out week 16, 17. That's interesting. Quasi also says there's a bug in the roster build. I've seen that earlier today. Noted. Send a screenshot of the bug to the drafter support. Yeah, I'll just have them like look at the timestamp on the stream, I guess. Jonesy Wakono, we got to bounce. Deuces. Love you, buddy. Have a wonderful night. Guys, we're drafting tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern time on stream. 5 p.m. Eastern time on stream. Okay. Adrian Fitta says Houston having a middle of the pack rush defense would help fantasy QBs and wide receivers playing against them. Last year, top tier QBs and wide receivers had bust games against Houston because they weren't needed. It's not because they weren't needed as well. I feel like their pass defense is very good. And what they did this year was they brought in a few pieces to fortify their rush defense. But it will leave holes on first and second down based on how slow Denzel Perryman and Corey Littleton are. So guys like it's not Cunningham, but Cunnilingus. No, not Cunnilingus. One of them. He's their passing down linebacker who typically would come in and fill in for third down situations, but teams might as well just take advantage of it and attack a strong fortified rush defense with 2 very slow linebackers. So I would say where Houston's most susceptible to get beat is that little pocket behind the linebacker in zone, and anybody, so a tight end if they're on the Mac or the Jack, because it is a 34 defense, tight end or a running back. I think that's who's going to kill Houston's defense in the pass. And I think Houston's defense is going to be better against the run. Do I think they're going to be the best against the run? No. But I also won't bet against them every week like I did last year. Because, man, it was fun. It was like borderline like highway robbery. You know, in the tight end position, if you were going against Arizona or Seattle, you were chilling. You know that in the running game, if you were going against Houston or Cleveland, you were chilling. You know, if you were a wide receiver and you were going against Tennessee, you were going to have a hell of a game. Wide receivers went crazy against them. They also went crazy against Pittsburgh, which is very bizarre. But yeah, I like looking at these kind of like little nuanced stats and then like trying to break down what it would look like and then just make it make sense for me in terms of drafting. But nevertheless, 5 p.m. Eastern time, Saturday and Sunday, we will be drafting. We're not missing a day. And then Monday to Friday, it's 8 p.m. Eastern time. So Saturday and Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. That's the new time. And yeah, Adrian Fitta says, in D'Amico, we trust the defense will get better. God, I would, Adrian, if I was you, I would stop worrying about Houston's defense and I would start worrying about your own defense because, like, Saquon's not there. He's not going to control the rock. So what the hell are you guys going to do? Daniel Jones isn't going to go out and single-handedly win a game. You guys are screwed, man. Giants are going to have an abysmal season without Saquon. Anyways, guys, love you so much. God bless. Peace.